Hello, welcome to another video tutorial with Kukura Capital. And in this video tutorial, this is our third episode of our chart analysis series, and we're going to be talking about spinning tops and dojis. Now, a lot of people are able to identify dojis because they're quite distinct. They have really small bodies. I mean, this is just literally a collage, or I don't know, a gathering of all the dojis possible. I mean, you get dojis here, dojis there. This is our USD South African Rand pair and our 15-minute time chart. And also dojis also qualify as our short small body candles, and they are an indication of uncertainty in the market and a non-healthy market. Dojis represent uncertainty. It means that the buyers and the sellers are unsure about what to expect from the market and are not placing many trades. There's an indication that there are not a lot of active people trading at that time, and perhaps a good indication that you should also not be trading as well at that time. Now I'm just gonna highlight this area where we have a lot of dojis. We have a lot of dojis here, and also we have a number of dojis over here. So as I did just mention, dojis are an indication of a non-healthy chart, not healthy time to be trading. So if you see dojis, the first thing you should be doing is considering going flat or taking a square position, which just means you don't place a trade, which is really much better than placing a trade in a high risk market just for the sake of placing some trades. So that being said, you should really be cautious of that. Now your dojis are just these candles that have these small little bodies and these long wicks. Now the thing to note is the side of which your wick is and the length of your wick. Just as we'd covered in episode 2, the wick is a very good indication of which way your trend is going to change or turn to. Now dojis for some parts are indications of a change in your trend, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes you can get this random consolidation of your candlesticks here, and you don't really get a significant change within your general trend. For example, here it goes up, then you get these dojis start to form over here, but you get these dojis forming over here, but for the most part from here to here it's still a strong up trend. I'm just going to draw that. It's still going up for the most part. So even though you have these dojis, it doesn't necessarily mean a drastic change in the chart. You do get this small change in the trend. So I'm just going to check here. I mean, you also have a lot of dojis here, and then you do go from a downtrend and then you go up, but also you have dojis here, you go a bit down and then it goes up again. So dojis for the most part are just an indication to be cautious, to be wary that there's uncertainty in the market, that you could have a change in the market trend or that you couldn't. But for the most part, when you do see dojis, try not to enter. Do not. A lot of people try to enter here. Why would you do that? Because there's so much uncertainty. It's not really a smart decision. This is how people lose money. Do not enter in points of uncertainty like this, because what would happen is somebody would suspect it's going to go down because it's been going up, and then you think it's going to change. It does change, but if you look at it for an overall perspective, it goes up. So you have to be cautious of that. And the best way to know what's going to happen is to accompany this interpretation with support and resistance lines or another indicator that you may have. But for the most part, dojis, the way to get an indication of which direction it's going to change, if it's going to change or not, is to look at the wicks. Now in this case, and how we mentioned earlier, if the wicks at the bottom and they're long, it's an indication that the sellers are tired and the buyers are in the market putting a lot of pressure to increase the price of your currency pair that you are trading. So as you can see here, you're getting a lot of wicks at the bottom, and we're starting to see that the sellers are tired. So from this interpretation, you would be able to see that you have a better chance of going long, which obviously proves to be the correct case. You go long, but your entry point would be determined based on whether or not you had like maybe a support line over here, or if you had an indicator like a Bollinger Band at the bottom close to that, or if you had a moving average or something to indicate when to enter, that you should go long. However, on its own, it's not substantial for you to place entry and exit points. It's more of an indicator to warn you, whether or not you should leave a trade, whether or not you should be cautious of a drastic change, perhaps, in your trend, your general trend. However, for the most part, they represent uncertainty, and when you do see them, do try to avoid them, but be cautious. But they do carry a lot of doubt in your trading, because when you do see this, it starts to go down and then goes up. So my best advice when it comes to dojis is to be resilient and patient with them, because you will, here you start to see a lot of dojis, and you start to see strong wicks at the bottom, indication that your seller is tired, and you will see a change in the trend. So you have to be cautious of that. And then, because when you are trading, you are never going to see a perfect uptrend. It's going to go up, down, but it will be an uptrend overall. So you have to be cautious of that. Dojis are normally an indication of tiredness in the market. Few participants are not good. It's not healthy. A lot of uncertainty, so do be cautious of that. So your dojis are the small bodies with wicks on them. They don't have to be particularly long, these wicks, but the bodies do have to be small. Now, how do you distinguish between a doji and a spinning top? Well, a lot of people, first and foremost, they get too fixated on the names and all that kind of stuff, and some traders don't even name the candles. They don't care for the names, they care about what it's saying. So a spinning top and a doji, you don't have to particularly distinguish the two. You just have to know if you're seeing a small body forming in the middle of your chart. If you have a chart and you, for example here, you just start seeing these small bodies forming, it is an indication that the participants in the market are tired, and that you should be cautious of a change in the trend. So it's not important to be concerned whether or not it's a spinning top or a doji, or they also have names, long wick to doji or whatever. That's not really important. It's important that you understand how to interpret them, and that you understand what to do when you do see them. So that's our video tutorial on spinning tops and dojis. If you want more information, we do have thorough notes that do go through this theoretically. In our video tutorials, we do try to offer practical application of these concepts, and when it comes to chart analysis, the most important thing is to understand how to interpret certain things in your charts, such as wicks, the length of the bodies, etc. We will now be moving on to more complex concepts. So it's important that you did master episode 1 to 3. These are the most basic, simplest things. So if you're not really comfortable with understanding wick interpretation, our PowerPoints also have quizzes, so you can test yourself to see if you really do understand these concepts. When you are trading, if you're unable to interpret the charts, it could be quite detrimental to your performance, but never worry, because it's really straightforward and easy to learn. And if you have any questions or queries, you can contact us at kukuacapital.co.za, or you can drop us a message on our forum. Thank you for watching.